She confessed she'd been cheating on me with my brother for a year. So I packed their stuff, drove to my parents' house during Sunday dinner, and let the whole family see the truth. My name is Ethan, I'm 31, and I once thought I knew what betrayal felt like. But I was wrong. I thought heartbreak was about losing love, until I learned what it feels like to lose respect, trust, and family all at once. 3 days ago, I walked into my apartment after a long day at my engineering job, expecting nothing more than a quiet evening. Instead, I found my girlfriend sitting on our couch, hands folded neatly in her lap, looking like someone about to deliver a eulogy. The air felt heavy, the kind of stillness that only comes before something life-changing. She looked up at me with those green eyes I'd once fallen so deeply for, and said the words that tore my world apart. "I've been cheating on you for a year, with your brother." In that moment, time slowed down. I remember the soft hum of the refrigerator, the city noise filtering through the windows, and the strange, detached calm that settled over me as if my mind refused to accept the reality before me. I just stood there, still in my button-down shirt, holding my work bag, and felt something inside me go completely numb. She kept talking, words tumbling out like a confession to a priest. How it started, how sorry she was, how she never meant for it to happen. Her voice sounded distant, muffled, like it was coming from underwater. When I asked if she was still seeing him, she nodded. When I asked if they planned to be together, she nodded again. The strangest part was my calmness. She looked at me like she expected screaming, anger, maybe even violence. Instead, I just set my bag down and told her I understood. She looked confused, even scared of how quiet I was. I told her to start packing her things. She tried to plead, saying we could talk it out, but there was nothing left to discuss. She'd made her choice, and now I was making mine. While she gathered her belongings, I called in sick to work for the next day. When she finally fell asleep in the bedroom, I drove across town to my brother's apartment. He wasn't home, but his landlord recognized me from when we'd helped him move in 2 years ago. I told the man my brother had asked me to pick up some things for him, and without a second thought, he let me in. I spent 4 hours methodically packing up every single thing my brother owned. His clothes, books, electronics, kitchen supplies, even his pathetic collection of vintage beer bottles he used to brag about. Every piece of his life went into boxes and garbage bags. The landlord even helped me load it all into my truck, asking if my brother was moving. "Something like that," I replied quietly. By the time I returned home, my girlfriend had finished packing 2 suitcases and was crying on the couch. She tried one more time to beg for another chance, but I just loaded her luggage into the truck beside my brother's things and told her to find somewhere else to stay. The next morning was Sunday, the perfect day for truth. In my family, Sunday dinner is sacred. It's the one tradition we never Mississippi. Everyone comes, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, even the neighbors sometimes. And my brother never missed a single one. That afternoon, I loaded the truck with their belongings, drove 20 minutes to my parents' house, and parked on the lawn. The familiar ranch house stood peacefully on its corner lot, surrounded by laughter and the smell of roasted chicken from the backyard. It was the perfect setting for the truth. I started unloading box after box, bag after bag, creating neat piles on the perfectly trimmed grass my father loved so much. My brother's clothes in one pile, electronics in another. My ex-girlfriend's suitcases sat prominently by the mailbox. I even displayed his precious beer bottle collection near the rose bushes. Within minutes, curious faces pressed against the front window. Aunts, cousins, even my teenage nephew with his jaw hanging open. When I rang the doorbell, my mom answered, still wearing her apron. She looked from me to the lawn, and I saw the moment her brain connected the dots. She asked what was going on. I simply said, "You should probably ask your other son." The family poured out of the house one by one. "Dad, holding a beer, can Aunt Sarah?" Whispers already forming on her lips. Then my brother came around the corner, laughing at something someone said, until he saw it. His face went pale. He stopped dead, eyes locked on the front lawn where his life lay exposed for everyone to see. The silence was deafening. He managed to ask, "What the hell are you doing?" I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Returning your stuff since you won't be needing my apartment anymore." Then I added, "Your girlfriend's things are there too. Thought I'd save you both the trip." You could have heard a pin drop. My mother's hand flew to her chest. Dad's beer can crumpled in his fist. Aunt Sarah whispered, "What girlfriend?" And then the whole truth spilled out. Calmly, plainly, brutally. I told them how my brother and my girlfriend had been having an affair for a year, using family gatherings as their secret rendezvous. That she'd confessed everything just yesterday. That they'd planned to be together. My brother tried to explain himself, saying it just happened. That he never meant to hurt me. But the damage was already done. My mother cried quietly. My father looked like he wanted to punch a wall. My nephew, ever the teenager, whispered, "This is better than Netflix." I told them I'd said what needed to be said, picked up my truck keys, and turned to leave. My brother shouted after me, asking what he was supposed to do now. I told him to figure it out with his girlfriend. They seemed good at making decisions behind people's backs. Then I drove away, leaving their lives scattered across my parents' lawn like evidence of their own choices. The phone calls started before I even reached home. Mom called crying, asking why I didn't tell them sooner. Dad called next, quiet, serious, then told me he was proud of how I handled myself. One by one, family members called offering support. Even my Uncle Terry, who usually joked about everything, said he'd never been so proud of me. My brother called too, furious, saying I'd humiliated him. I simply asked if he'd thought about that while sleeping with my girlfriend. He hung up. Weeks passed, and the fallout only grew. My parents held a family meeting without him. He was made to collect his belongings alone from the lawn, neighbors watching, whispers following him like shadows. My teenage nephew posted about the incident online. The story went viral in our town. My brother became a local legend, but not in the way he wanted. People whispered when he walked into the grocery store. His gym buddies avoided eye contact. Karma, it seemed, was doing her job. 2 weeks later, my ex reached out, saying things with my brother weren't working. She claimed she missed me, wanted to come back. I met her for closure. She looked broken, eyes puffy, regret all over her face. She said she'd made a mistake, that my brother wasn't who she thought he was. I told her that what she'd destroyed could never be rebuilt, that some choices come with permanent consequences. Eventually, even my brother reached out, asking to meet. We sat at a park near our childhood home. He looked older, defeated. He said he'd lost everything, me, the family's respect, his reputation, and he didn't know how to fix it. He cried like a child. I didn't forgive him that day, but I let go of the rage that had been eating me alive. Now, months later, I've reclaimed my peace. My apartment is my sanctuary. I've started hosting my own smaller Sunday dinners with family members who stood by me. The laughter feels real now, not polite. The air feels lighter. I'm dating again, slowly, carefully, learning that trust can be rebuilt, just not with the same people who broke it. Sometimes, when I drive past my parents' house, I still picture that day. My brother's face frozen in shock, my family staring at the truth they could no longer ignore. And you know what? I don't regret a single thing. Because sometimes the only way to show people the consequences of their actions is to lay them bare on the front lawn for everyone to see. If you like the story, please subscribe us and do like this.